So I'm still joined in the studio by Shaun Wright Phillips and by Paul Dickov. Shaun, that was a great second half and just a great night overall. We are in the hat.
Yeah, it was great. I was delighted to see, obviously, the rest of the young kids get on, especially McAtee, as I wanted to watch him play. But yeah, we expected more goals, a lot more goals from City, I should say. But a lapse of concentration let us concede a goal, which I don't think none of the players themselves will be happy with. But they went down to Swindon and did a professional job. And now, like you said, they're in the next round, and a draw to come in a week.
Yeah, we should give a shout out to fan Colin, who was on the show before the game, who predicted 4-1. Well done, Colin. Good for him. You guys didn't think we were going to concede, and Colin seemed to know something. But, Paul, in terms of that second half, so we extended our lead on the 58th minute. It was an Ilkay Gundogan free kick. Can you kind of explain to anybody that hasn't seen it yet what kind of happened with the wall?
It was, look, I think for the goalkeeper's point of view, and the wall, they'd done everything right, but just the execution by Ilkay to get it round the outside of the wall with the whip, Mr. Whippy we call him, don't they, to bend it. He set it out 2 or 3 yards outside the post, and it's crept in low down, but right on the post as well. And it was just a fantastic free kick. I know Bruyne in commentary was sort of blaming the goalkeeper a little bit, but we didn't think the goalkeeper could have done much else. It was just a fantastic execution of a free kick, and we've seen him do it time and time again.
Couldn't help thinking the draft excluder guy could have been standing on the end, or is that just me thinking too simplicity there on it, Shaun?
Yeah, but there's normally somebody on the end if you think they're going to over it just to, you know what I mean, to block the run. But like Paul said, I thought Gundogan's free kick was outstanding. I don't think anybody else did too much wrong, to be honest with you.
So at that point, we take it to 3-0. And a couple of minutes later, we got a penalty, Paul, but we missed it.
I know, and look, I used to take penalties myself, so I'll never ever go at MD for missing a penalty. But it's one of them, you know, if the goalkeeper goes the other way, which he didn't, I know, but we're talking about what a fantastic free penalty kick it was and the composure that he showed. Goalkeeper's made a good save, wasn't the best. I think sometimes when you're going to take that step and you're going to put it that side rather than side foot it, you've got to put your laces through it and put a bit more power on it. But give the goalkeeper a bit of credit, you know, live on TV, FA Cup against Man City. That's a moment he'll never forget for the rest of his life.
Yeah, so we were then still at 3-0, and then in the 66th minute, what you wanted happened, Shaun, because James McAtee came on, replacing Kevin De Bruyne. That's a pretty nice switch for him.
Yeah, he won't forget that. That's for a start. But no, I thought he did okay. I thought at stages he tried a little bit too hard, but it's hard not to when he's come on and he's seen how well Cole's doing within the team, going past people, and obviously wants to have that same impact and that impression. But I think once he gets settled in, he'll be flying.
A little bit later on, so sort of 12 minutes later, we get our nerves kind of riled a little bit, Paul, as Swindon did get a goal back. What happened with our defence?
I just think it was a little bit of lapse of concentration. You know, it happens even to the best of teams when you're so in control of a game. You can tend to come off it a little bit. You know, Cancelo has went to do a little flick. How many times do we see him that he does these fantastic flicks and it come off? Rodri was on his back foot a little bit and Swindon went and broke. But what a moment for Ryan McAtee. You know, we're talking about the Swindon goalkeeper. You know, to score against Manchester City in the FA Cup. That's a moment he will never forget as well. And probably the only time they threatened us at all. You know, we were in control of the game so much that your concentration levels do drop a little bit. It's a natural thing. You know, it's not just a football thing, it's a natural thing as a human being. And to be fair to Swindon, they capitalised on it and gave the Swindon fans a little bit of hope as well, and something to cheer about.
Yeah, they had a free kick a couple of minutes afterwards, and I said to you guys, I'm nervous now. All of a sudden I was nervous for a few minutes, but for no reason really, Shaun, because only 4 minutes later did Cole Palmer, who had just an incredible game, step up and just score. I mean, just what a finish. Just how good was that goal, Shaun?
The goal was something special, but it was funny because before that, as the ball got played through, I was upset that he didn't cross it to McAtee, because that would have been the obvious pass, or a pass I would have done to say Paul or Goals. But he's cut back, and obviously Bernardo's shot got blocked, but the execution of his finish after that was just ridiculous. He used the inside of his foot. He didn't whip it. The ball just went straight. And I think the keeper got a little bit of fingertips to it, but I don't think he would have stopped it if he did. It was a fantastic finish by him.
I don't care what the competition or the opposition. That's just a world class finish. And he deserved it because he was outstanding all night. You know, he's created the first goal, was involved in everything that was good against Manchester City, everything that was positive. And you talk on being about a young boy, the maturity he showed in his performance was unbelievable as well.
Was he man of the match for you?
100%.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's the sort of performance I guess he's going to be hoping, so that he can try and play himself into the squad more often and hopefully try and get some more appearances under his belt this season.
It is, but I keep talking about mentality, and it says a lot about him because there's been a lot of people talking about him for a long time. And when you get your chance, when you get your opportunity, people are wanting to criticise, to say that what's all the fuss about this Cole Palmer. But he rose to the occasion. They said he's playing in the team with De Bruyne, with Ilkay Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, Gabriel Jesus, and he stood out like a sore thumb. He was man of the match by a country mile.
A few minutes later, we got a debut in the game as well. A player that lots of people are very, very excited about. Kaiki made his debut coming on. We didn't get to see too much of him, but in the kind of 5 minutes that you did, Paul, did you see anything that you liked? What did you assess? I know it's very hard in 5 minutes.
Yeah, it is, but just the fact that he's got on the pitch now, you know, he's been on the bench a couple of times. He would have been desperate to get on there and show what he can do. But fantastic for Romeo Lavia as well, and looking better to get in the pitch. You know, it just shows you that the young kids we've got coming through with all the first team players out are ready to come in and step up. But Kaiki, to see him on the pitch, you know, there's been a lot of talk about him. We've all seen clips of him. People rate him very, very highly, and he's still a young boy, and it's going to take him time to settle. You know, he's come over from Brazil. He's only sort of been training since the last sort of 6 weeks or so with the team as well, so it's going to take him time to settle, but he looks a super talent.
So 4-1 the game finished. Obviously kind of in the week that's been running up to this with the COVID cases, and obviously Pep wasn't there. All in all, Shaun, with the, you know, if we're being really picky, with the exception of the goal, just a great night and just exactly what we needed, and we now have nice 8 days before we play our next game.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think the guys were very professional. I think including the staff that dealt with not Pep being there, because it would be unnormal for them as well. And the performance, they went there. And like I said, we've been in those situations where it's not always easy to be that professional when you play against a lower team. Sometimes you drop your standards. But with City today, they didn't drop off at all, apart from the little slip up for the goal. As we all said, other than that, it was an excellent performance all round.
Thank you very much. So as I say, we are in the 4th round. The draw takes place on Sunday. I can't wait to see who we're going to get in the next round. So thank you again for taking part in Cryptic City, for sending all your answers in. Absolutely loads of you have got this right. So we'll have another little look at it now if you just want a final chance to get it. But a shout out to Kevin Thomas Hughes, to DLT, Karen Rutter, Ian, Roger Reed, Joe Swanton, Elaine Lawler. You all got it right. Paul Dickov, could you explain it for us, please?
I'd like to pass this one over to Shaun to explain, please.
I'm the creator here. You're the finisher.
What have you created in regards to this quiz?
Just the fact that I've let you know the pictures are there, so I've just slid you the through ball.
Support.
Yeah, we said at half time, so it's obviously the I's the first one, Big Al Shearer, so Isle, and then that middle one is burrito.
It's a burrito, yeah.
But then obviously of for the latter part of my name.
What's that handsome chap?
That's me, of course, mate. And then a little itch at the back, so Ayel Berkovic.
Ayel Berkovic. Here he is, a goal he scored against Norwich. Just one of his just incredible goals that he scored. Shaun, what a player that man was.
Yeah, he was some player. He got me into a tackle once. I think it was here against Crystal Palace, and I can't remember whether I passed him the ball through, but he's one-on-one with the keeper. I expected him to shoot. He didn't. He just passed the ball. So I went in for attack. I had to come back because I was already running away celebrating, and then end up cutting open the side of my knee. And I said to him, why don't you just shoot? He said, no, because I just like passing. And that's just the type of person he was. He just always wanted to create chances for people.
Brilliant, love it. Congratulations, well done, Paul. That was very quick that you got that today, and congratulations to everybody at home.
I do assist you, bro.
It as well. So before we go, gents, just want to have a quick word. Obviously, we do have 8 days off now. The next time we play, it will be here, and it will be against Chelsea. Is it the biggest game of the season so far for you, Paul?
I think so, because we can more or less put Chelsea out the title race altogether if we win. The pressure's all on them. You know, they've got a couple of tough... Obviously, they've got the FA Cup, but then they've got Tottenham midweek as well in the semi-final, which they won't have the opportunity to rest players or leave players out, I wouldn't have thought. And the rest we've now got with 8 days. I think the other positive tonight as well, there's no injuries. You know, so hopefully we'll go into the Chelsea game with a fully fit squad, everybody firing, and, you know, continue this fantastic run that we're on.
We had an incredible performance against them at Stamford Bridge earlier in the season, which we won. To take 6 points off them this season would just be incredible, Shaun. It would really give us that lift that we need to. I'm not repeating what Paul said though. I'm not ruling them out yet.
Yeah, I think, and as well, like Paul said, we've got pretty much a fully fit squad, especially after the COVID dies out and the boys are back training and stuff. But for them, they're missing key players as well, like Reece James, Ben Chilwell, and I think that's when Chelsea were at their best, where people were talking about them being title contenders. They had those two in there who defend well and create chances, and now without them. So, and we bullied them then. So I think personally we'll do the same again. But like you said, it's Chelsea, so you can't really write them off like that.
Yeah, I still remember last season when they beat us 3 times in a row, obviously the FA Cup, the Champions League final. So I'm still up for a bit of revenge, to be honest, Paul.
Absolutely, but I think we set our marker down earlier in the season at Stamford Bridge. You know, at that time, people were talking about Chelsea being favourites. Went down there, dominated the game by a country mile with a better team, and I fully expect the same a week on Saturday. And
because it's at home, obviously, as well, the atmosphere is going to be electric. It's a lunchtime kick-off. We all know what a big game it is, and just playing here will make a bit of a difference as well, Shaun.
Yeah, especially with the City fans behind them. I know most probably they was making just as much noise down there, but when you're at home and the full crowd's behind you, like they say back in the old days, it is really like having that extra man.
Gents, thank you very much for joining me. It's always a pleasure. I'm the tallest. I just want to finish off by saying that.
Definitely not.
I'm the tallest.
I'm the second tallest.
Paul, we took a picture and I'm already taller than you.
You were on
so I don't know how you're working that out.
You were on the stool.
There's nothing wrong with being the smallest in the room, buddy.
I heard you got tissue in your shoe. I heard you stuffed your shoes away before you came in the room.
Don't need that, Nat.
Thank you very much for joining us, and thank you to all of you at home for joining us this evening on Matchday Live. City have made it into the 4th round of the FA Cup for another year, and I, for one, am hoping that we'll go 1 step or 2 steps further than we did last year, obviously getting knocked out at this semi-final stage, and we've made a perfect start to that. Thank you very much for joining us. I'll be back here in 8 days' time for the Chelsea game. I'm already excited about it. Now, between now and then, you have a little break from City, which you haven't had in a long time. So get yourself on to City Plus. If you're not already a subscriber, I can highly recommend it. There's some incredible content on there, some brilliant documentaries, and you also get access to watch some of the women's games, some of the EDS games as well. There's loads of brilliant documentaries coming up as well. Recently, it was the Stephen Ireland documentary, Ireland is Superman. There's one about Edison that came out in December as well. And in January, there's loads of brilliant things to keep you filled before the next game. So thank you very much for joining us, and here is what you can catch on City Plus in January.
A very likable person, a truly entertainer, and the most gifted player I ever played with.
Georgie Kikladze then. Oh, what a tremendous shot from Kikladze! And, well, there's so much promise about this young fella. So much to get excited about. De Bruyne now clips it in, but I think it'll go towards... Oh, it did reach, and it's poked in! Oh, my goodness! It's a cross that falls to Ilkay Gundogan. The opening opportunity for Pep Guardiola's men! Oh, what a goal from Bernardo Silva!